garden friends. Welcome to week 10 in the garden. As you can probably tell, I'm not in the market garden. I'm here with Susie in the blueberry patch, which is up the hill from the market garden. It's blueberry time. The blueberries are finally turning and I'm so excited. I'm including this in this week in the garden video series because this is food production. And I used to sell these blueberries when I was selling vegetables to the farmer's market. So I think even though it's not in the market garden, it is part of the food production on this farm. So I thought it would be fun to do something a little different and get in here and see what's going on this week. So because the blueberries are turning, I spent yesterday, a good part of yesterday, I don't know if you can see this on the camera, wrapping the entire blueberry structure in bird netting. Birds will clean us out, basically. Take probably half to 2/3 of the berries if we don't screen them out. So if we want to have enough blueberries to put in the freezer, to share with friends, and in the past to sell, I have to wrap the entire structure in bird netting. I can't leave the bird netting on though, because in the fall we have a tremendous amount of leaves that move around the property, and a lot of them will end up on the top of the blueberry structure in the bird netting, and it just becomes a big mess. Did that once, and yeah, won't do it again. So after the blueberries are done, we open everything back up, take all the blueberry netting off, and store it up in the barn for next year, and do the process all over again. It takes a bit of effort, but it's worth it because I can fill my freezer with blueberries and have them throughout the entire winter. Give them to friends who make blueberry jam, and give me a jar or two. Thanks, Sylvia. And yeah, and give them away to friends, you know, and share the bounty of the farm. So I'm just gonna do a little picking, and I'm gonna show you around the blueberry patch and what we did with bird netting. This blueberry patch was here on the farm when we bought it, and it consists of roughly 16 or so large high bush blueberry plants of different varieties. There are some cultivated. I think there are even a couple of native wild blueberries, like this bush here, high bush. And they're probably at least, I would say, 15 years old at this point. I've talked about this blueberry patch in the past, and my rejuvenation of it, because when we got it 10 years ago, 11 years ago, it was badly neglected. The bushes hadn't been pruned or dealt with in any way, and so I started a program of selective pruning every year, every winter, late winter, early spring, and it really has made a difference. The blueberry bushes are much more productive than they were in the beginning. We've added a few blueberry bushes over the years with some limited success, and hopefully young ones like these will catch up to their older counterparts and become a more productive part of the whole operation. And we'll probably add a few more. We do have a few large boulders in the middle of this patch that can't come out, so we'll just have to plant around them. But for the most part, I think we're done expanding the blueberry patch. To cover the blueberries, we've done a number of different things, from draping bird netting directly over the shrubs to using PVC tubing pipes bent over the blueberries with bird netting across that. And we finally settled upon this electrical conduit with fittings to join them all together. This gives us a permanent structure that gets left up all year round and will last for many, many years, and gives us a firm framework on which to tie the bird netting, as you can see tied here. The bird netting for this structure consists of 4 panels, 2 really large ones for the long sides and 2 smaller ones for the shorter sides. And those get tied right to the structure with jute twine, or whatever material I happen to have available, usually jute twine. And then the top, because the two long side panels extend quite a bit over the top consists of the folded ends of the long side panels knitted together with a couple of shorter pieces that fill in the gap. And those are knitted together with twine. And I have to be fairly vigilant about covering all the holes, tying together all the holes, because the birds, believe it or not, will find the tiniest hole in the netting and will get in. Usually the first day after I've put up the netting, the next morning, I'll come out and I'll find a bird or two already in the netting. And that leads me to search for holes and tidy them up. And then hopefully it keeps more birds out of the bird netting. It's a constant battle, believe me. The birds really, really want these delicious blueberries and will find any little hole to get in and get them. Once blueberry season comes, and the blueberries are ripening at a rapid pace, I'm out here almost every day, definitely at least every other day. And I like to come out here with Susie early in the morning when most of the patch is still in shade and pick blueberries. And yeah, it's a nice, peaceful, quiet time in the garden. Listening to the bird song in the morning and the cool of the morning. And yeah, it's just one of my favorite places to be in the middle of summer. In the blueberry patch with my dog. Yeah. So I'm going to do a little more picking and then actually do a little more repair of the netting. And then I'm going to get into the garden, the real garden, the market garden, and pick some peas. I'm down here in the main market garden looking at the sugar snap peas, and oh boy, do I have a lot of peas to pick today. This is great. Look at these. Yummy! So I'm going to go through and just pick everything I can. Oh, these look beautiful. Perfect size for picking. The trick to maximizing pea harvest, and this also applies to green beans, bush beans, is to pick them often and thoroughly. Pick everything that is of harvestable size, even the ones that are a bit big and, you know, maybe a little weird looking, damaged. Don't leave any mature pea pods on the plants because they will mature the seeds and start sending a signal to the plant to stop production. And you don't want that. You want them to keep producing flowers. And so if you keep picking, they will keep producing flowers. So when I come in here and pick, I pick everything that looks like it might be of harvestable size. And check in, you know, in amongst the vines here, in the back, in between, to make sure I've got everything picked off that could potentially mature enough to stop production on the rest of the plant. So let me grab my bucket and get picking. filled up about half of a 5-gallon bucket full of peas. Yummy. And I just noticed the snow peas need another picking too. So I'm going to go through these and pick the snow peas again before the heat gets to them. It's going to be hot today, so got to get these picked. Okay, now that I've picked all of the snow peas, a good amount, I'm going to move on to checking the squashes, which probably will have, we'll have a few nice zucchinis here. Cut that one off. Let's see, what else do we have? I'm actually surprised we don't have more zucchini. Oh, we have a little baby summer squash. Oh, I like that one. Let's see if I can get that one. Oop. Here we are. That's a beauty. I like them when they're young because they're much more tender and sweet. Look at these two here. Oop. So yeah, 3 already. Oh. All right, what else do we have? No, I think that's it. I noticed this morning when I came in here that the potato beetles, Colorado potato beetles, seem to have ended their onslaught. I'm not seeing any right now. So hopefully the 3 or 4 waves of picking them off the potatoes that I did was enough to thwart the invasion. Well, it's going to be a hot day today, so I've got the sprinklers on the lettuces and carrots. I don't know if the camera's picking up the sprinklers spraying right now. Certainly hear it on the plastic. The chard is getting watered. The carrots, lettuce, and onions will all get a good drink. And then I'll probably turn these on again later in the afternoon. It's going to be 90s today and tomorrow, so it's important to keep these temperature sensitive crops cool, especially the lettuces. Another example of how quickly things can develop in the garden, I just walked over to the cauliflower and boom, I've got cauliflower heads. And I have to cut these. They're starting to, what they call rice, where the florets start to separate. So these are going to get cut today. Wow, that happens like really fast. But they look pretty good, actually. I'm kind of impressed. So I'm going to cut all these and bring them in, dunk them in cold water and put them in the fridge, and then we'll probably cut them up and blanch them and put some of them in the freezer. That looks like all we have. The other thing I noticed is some of the broccolis are already heading, and unfortunately they don't look great. So probably because of the stress they had at the beginning of the season. So I'm probably going to end up just cutting these and letting them start to produce some side shoots and hope that that goes a little better. Yeah, see how this is sort of brown? Oh well. It's interesting year to year because last year I had a bumper crop of broccoli. And this year, Well, my bucket is full of peas and squash and cauliflower, so it's time to go in and wash these off and get them into the refrigerator. I will see you the next time in the garden. Good morning. It's Saturday morning, before the heat really kicks in. It's going to be another hot one today. So I'm out here in the blueberries doing a morning picking. Again, one of my favorite things to do is be out here in the cool shade of the early morning and picking blueberries, listening to the birds, and just one of my favorite things. I'm so excited to be here. Later on, I'm gonna be in the main market garden doing some last minute things. and I'll show you those later. But for now, I'm just going to enjoy some solitude in the blueberry patch. Well, hello again. It's late afternoon, evening, a little after 6:30 or so on Saturday, and I'm back out into the market garden. It was hot today, and I just didn't feel like coming out here in the blazing sun and working. So I waited until after dinner, and the sun was down below the trees here, and the garden's in shade, and I can actually get some work done without just being drenched in sweat. We'll see how the flies do, because they're already starting to come after me. I may have to put my head net back on. But anyway, I'm going to rip up the old arugula that's gone by, that whatever I didn't harvest, and clean out the bed, and maybe, depending on the fly situation and my energy level, sow the next batch. This part is always the part I hate about succession sowing in the garden, is taking out any of the old stuff that either bolted or you just didn't harvest for whatever reason, and cleaning up the soil. It's a pain in the butt, but it's a necessary part of continuing to turn over crops in a vegetable garden. So just buckle down and do it, and that's what I'm going to do. So let's get to work. As you can see, this arugula is quite overgrown. I did do a little bit of cutting in here, a couple of cuttings in the center where it looked a lot better, but a lot of it is now bolted and would be very, very hot. I may actually, since it's cooler, I may pull some of these outer leaves, which always seem to be in better shape, and bring those in. These may still be edible without being too hot. And then the rest I'm going to pull out, and these are going to go into the compost bin. The arugula planted, the bed all cleared, the old part of the row covered with the tarp, and flea beetle netting, bug netting across the new planting. And yeah, I'm done. Even though the sun's not up, it's still hot, and once you get moving, I'm sweating right now. Yeah, and the sun, as you can see behind me, is just on the trees in the back pasture. So it's pretty soon that'll be out of the sun, and the sun will be setting. The bugs are starting to come out too. So I think that's going to be it for today and it for the week. Week 11. I got that right this time. I don't know if anybody noticed, but I messed it up at the beginning of this video. It is not week 10, it is week 11. And so that is week 11 in the books, and hopefully I'll remember that next week is week 12. And I hope you'll join me then. So have a good night. I'll see you later. Bye.